Welcome to Analyzing Gaming. I'm your host GP, and we're here to make you a better jungler in Pokemon Unite. Alright, so let's begin. So, the beginning of the game. If you plan on being a jungler in your pick phase, look and notice who's the better junglers. Some of the top junglers are going to be like Zeraora as a speedster, or even the attackers like Cinder Ace, Greninja. These are some of the top tier junglers, but just because you're not picking the top tier doesn't mean you can't be a good jungler. So, after you pick your Pokemon, getting into the jungle. All right, so there's a barrier right in the middle that you can actually jump over. So make sure you know your Pokemon's beginning moves, because several of their moves can get you into the middle. For example, like Greninja's Substitute, or Zeraora, Slash jumps over. There's a lot of different moves that'll actually get you into the jungle, so you don't have to walk all the way around. Now, you can use the eject button, but I would suggest against it, mainly because your eject button is going to be more useful in the coming fight. And with the fact that it has a long cooldown, it's going to be more valuable during the fight than it is just to get some wild Pokemon mobs. Alright, next, while you're actually attacking the jungle mobs, make sure you're paying attention to the map. Not only the map, but pay attention of how the enemy is pushing and who is dying more often. So if your teammates are dying in a specific lane, make sure you take note of that, because that lane is going to need more help. So I'll find it better to stall the enemy team from scoring, or even a surprise, gank on them, than it is to go with a team that's already doing well pushing and then just adding a third person to push even better. So you kind of want to fill in the mistakes of your team, so then that way you can get kills, get experience for yourself and your teammates. Now, do not get tunnel vision. While you're in that lane helping, make sure you're taking note that the jungle mobs are coming up. The jungle mobs will come back in a 1 minute time frame. So as you're pushing or helping, rotating from top to bottom, whichever you're doing to help out your lanes, make sure you rotate back to the jungle, get your mobs, because your overall goal is to be not only the highest level on your team, but also be the one to kind of help everyone out, and maybe even the highest kills on your team. Your levels are more important than your teammates' levels. Now, granted, your team's levels are important, but if you can actually out-level your team, then you can out-level your enemies and win and dominate. So, in the mid-game, so by this time in the mid-game, as a jungler, of course you're going to always be going back to the jungle to get back. And when I say jungle, I mean the central area that's at the beginning that has the Ludicolo, the Buffalont, and sometimes the Corphish. Those are what you want to actually sweep up and get. Don't ignore them. Don't go in the mid game and be like, all right, I got the early game mobs and stuff. I don't need those anymore. Granted, experience from killing is actually good as well, but you got to go back and keep grinding, getting that jungle, getting the levels. Make sure you're hitting the button to look at the enemy team as well as your ally team in levels. So then that way you can see, okay, one way you can tell if you're doing a great job is if you're not only out-leveling your teammates, but out-leveling the enemy team as well. So then that way you do more damage to them and you're getting more kills on them. So you can actually help your teammates get mobs, getting kills, all kinds of different things, so they can push their lanes. So, objectives. You are to help out in the objectives as well. So, do not tunnel vision in this. When you are getting your objectives, then if you're, for example, going for Dreadnought first, help get Dreadnought. Then rotate top to either protect or go after Rotom. And don't forget to go back into the jungle to get more experience. You always want to get more experience. Your side of the map should be a blank canvas at all times. In the map, if you see a gold dot, That's basically a wild mob that you can get experience off of. If you see anywhere on your half of the map, get it. Because if your side has blank, it's basically blank, there is no gold dots, that means that your team, no matter who has the experience, is getting all the experience that is given to your team. So you more than likely, you yourself or your team, is going to be out leveling the enemy team that more than likely isn't doing a good job getting the wild Pokemon mobs. Now, as we get into the late game, like I said before, do not tunnel vision. Do not go there and be like, ooh, I need to chase this one person to get this kill. Let them go. They have to worry about the fact that they got to go back and heal, go back and reset themselves while you are ahead and can help out another lane or rotate to an objective or even Zapdos. Make note of how close it is getting to the 2-minute mark for Zapdos. And when, for example, make note if it's like 2 minutes, 30 seconds, like Zapdos is coming up in 30 seconds, hold your alt. If you have your alt, you want to hold that, use it for the Zapdos fight. Don't try to use it for the battle that's before Zapdos, because by the time Zapdos comes back and the enemy actually respawns, you won't have your alt. So your alt is very important. So around the 2:30 to even 3-minute mark, be mindful of your alt, because if you use it, you actually will gain it back over time and as you kill more wild Pokemon. But while you're trying to get your alt back, the enemy team could be rotating and getting prepared to fight Zapdos and laying a trap for you. So be very, very mindful of how your time is going as the game goes on. And honestly, that's a good tip for any Pokemon, any lane, or wherever you're at, not just the jungler. Now, the key is try not to die right before Zapdos fight. So make sure you are paying attention to your health, being cautious, because you want to make sure your Zapdos fight, when you start it or protect it, that you are ahead on you and your team. Like you have 5 men up versus their 3, their 4. So don't be the one that dies right before Zapdos. You are the anchor, or I would say the hindrance for your team, because you died right before Zapdos. Now, make note of your character, make note of your Pokemon. How, if things are going badly, the enemy team, for example, looks like they're about to win on Zapdos. How can your character steal Zapdos? Are you a Talonflame that can use Fly and then fly in on Zapdos and get the killing blow? Are you an Eldegoss that basically can use your Unite move and crash down on the enemy and Zapdos, getting the killing blow? There's a lot of different moves you can actually use that different Pokemon have that can do the explosive damage that can actually steal Zapdos and win it for your team. Now, also, on the other side, are you the one winning Zapdos? Is there a hidden Talonflame in the bush right next to there that you haven't been paying attention to because you're sitting there trying to actually kill Zapdos? So be mindful of areas, be mindful of who's coming in, look at the map, look at the battle, how's it going, and watch out for those sneaky little Pokemon that could steal Zapdos away from you in the last second while you did all the hard work on weakening him. So, these are some tips on how to make you a better jungler. Make sure you learn each and every one of them and use them out on the battlefield of Pokemon Unite, and you too will win, just like me. Alright, you guys take care, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys take care. Bye-bye for now.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.